Waalaikumsalam, sir.
Waalaikumsalam, sir.
Semua dah scan eh? Okay. We begin the class by reciting the Al-Fatiha, the Salawat to all the Muslim. Fatiha. Okay. How are you today?
Good,
Fine,
sir.
sir.
Baik, dokter.
Sehat, doktor.
Baik.
Okay. Danusha, where is Danusha?
Yes, sir.
How's your Deepavali preparation?
In progress, sir.
How many Indians in the class? Any Indian in the class? Tashini, is it? Oh, Ashini.
Yashni.
Yashini. Where's Yashini?
Shalini.
Yashini, where's Yashini? Yashini absent.
Oh, she absent today, sir.
Oh, preparing for Deepavali.
Yes, sir. Because today we normally pray for our grandmother, grandfather, everyone.
Then why you come?
I already prayed, sir. Just
Oh,
now
good.
only finished.
Never mind. For Indian student can excuse kalau ada apa-apa rituals, religious ritual. You all can excuse for the class for the Indian only. Right? Okay, we start class. Any question about the assignment? Any more question about the assignment?
Doctor,
Yes.
can I ask the assignment, what's the spacing? Is it 1.5?
Oh, what? I forgot about the technical. I will send you the technical format. After this I will send. I terlupa dah.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Everything is detailed inside there.
Okay.
Okay. Today, any more questions about the assignment?
Sir.
Yeah. No more. Yasmin, apa siapa ni? No more question. Okay. No more question. We can start the class. Okay. So today we will talk about chartering. Remember last class we talked about tram, right? So tram is different than liner. It's in very distinct way. The difference is very clear. But in tram, there are different type of trams, right? The management of tram, there are different types. Right. So today we will learn some of the types of the tram, and maybe we continue on Monday, right? On Sunday. So tram is also about chartering. Charter in Malay is menyewa lah, menyewa. Okay, charter. It's all about chartering. Whereby the cargo owner charter a ship or to carry their cargoes, right? To move their cargoes and to mobilize their cargo. That is chartering. Why they do that? Because to minimize cost. Rather than you go for liner services, might as well you go for chartering a ship or tram services, right? Tram shipping, okay? Because it's more cheaper in terms of you apa, you don't need to compete places with other cargo, and also in terms of economy of scale, you are be cheaper in terms of that. Although like economy of scale I mentioned before exists in liner also in container ship, but that one advantage is to the ship, is to the carrier. The operation will be cheaper because high volume, but the cost of freight to the owner or to the shipper is the same, right? A few thousand, 9,000. Now it's a triple, 27,000 to move one container. So to them, to the shipper and owner, it's the same. But to the carrier, the more you carry, the cost will be spread off, right? Spread off. Same like tram. If you have many cargo, your cargo volume is big, it's good for you to use tram. Because when your cargo is big, you can bargain more. Inter bargain more ini boleh bargain lah, boleh tawar menawar dengan carrier. Because your cargo is massive volume. So maybe you can have a better rates. That's what it means. Economy of scale. What is ship chartering? Chartering is an activity within the shipping industry whereby a ship owner hires out the use of a vessel to a charterer, penyewa. Ship owner, the carrier lah. The carrier charter it to a charterer. Charterer is the owner of the cargo. The contract between the parties is called a charter party. All right. You must remember here, the term ship owners and ship operators are two different things. So like I told before in the class, like shipper, carrier, consigner, or owner of the cargo are two different things. There are different things. But it depends on the situation how you use it. For example, like ship owner is the owner of the carrier, but the operator is different, right? The operator of the ship is different than the owner, like I've told before, right? The hotel, hotel building owner is different than the management of the hotel. Usually, the owner will assign the management or the operator to run the ships, to run the hotel. But the building of the hotel is owned by the owner. Okay? To manage, to run the business, for example, like the hotel, to run the hotel business, they'll give it to management, like Shangri-La management team, right? They handle it. But for ships, to manage the ship, to run the ship, the owner of the ship give it to the operator of the ships. There are certain operators of the ships that have experience in handling, many experience in handling ships, and they also have a lot of pool of resources in terms of manpower, captains, crews, everything. They have a lot of resources. So the ship owner will assign who should be the operator of the ship. They will look in the market. Okay, and there's many reliable ship operators around. And so these are the things that you need to understand. The terms in terms of transportation and especially shipping. There are many terms. Sometimes you confuse. Tadi kata si owner ni si operator pula kan. Nampak? So there's many things. There's different. The difference is quite distinctive between the owner and the management of the ships, the operator. All right. But when it comes to chartering, the owner hires out the use of the vessel to a charterer, and the charterer itself is the owner of the cargo. right? Owner of cargo, or the broker itself. It can be the broker of the owner of the cargo, right? It depends on the negotiation between the owner and the broker. To what level that the broker can go through. So either is it until you can close a deal with the carrier, or is it just looking for connecting or networking only? It depends on the how the agreement between the cargo owner and the broker, right? And also the ship owner need to find their market through brokers. That's why broker is important here, right? That's why some brokers have a very more wide roles, more wide and important roles for the sake of the owner of the cargo. They will deal everything. So these are the things whereby this different than liner. This is the most unique part of the tram. You can negotiate everything. You can decide the terms and conditions on all stakes, either from the carrier stake ataupun ada from the broker stake, right? So these are the things that you need to know. Okay. All right. Parties involved in chartering. Ship owner. A ship owner is owner of a merchant vessels and is involved in the shipping industry. In the commercial sense, a ship owner is someone who uses and exploit ships usually for delivering cargo for freight, a certain freight rates, right? That's why I mentioned it just now. The ship owner is the owner of the carrier, right? And how they run the ship is through ship operators, ship management. The management of the ship, they will manage the ships and everything. But the cross deal of carrying cargoes is done by the owner. The operator is just to run the ship efficiently. That's all, right? Ship charterer is the charterers. They charter the ship. Ship charterers either lies with intermediaries known as ship brokers or directly with ship owners to arrange the hire or charter of ships to get their cargoes delivered to their clients by the most cost-effective and timely means. So the main terms here is to liars, meaning that the ship charterers either through lies with intermediaries like ship brokers, or they go directly to the ship owner or the ship operators. All right. So these are the things that you need to understand, the connections between the charterers and the ship owner. Right. So the charterers can give a very wide role to the ship brokers to do all the jobs. They can do that because this between them, the agreement, what it is, right? The condition, what they want from the brokers. It's up to them. If they said you just find the network only, let me do the dealing, let the charterers do the dealing himself with the carrier, then the broker just link only, no more other purpose. But some carrier or some broker have a very wide role given by the charterers, given by the owner of the cargoes to discuss on behalf of them to find the best cost-effective mobilization of the cargo between the carriers. Okay, so they have very open and very important functions of securing the right kind of ships, the right kind within that good ships and a very cost-effective ships, right? Rates provided by the ships. So it can be either the charterer deal direct or either the charterer engage with brokers, right? So the function of brokers is varies. It depends on how you agree upon between the broker and the owner of the cargoes, the charterer, right? And then the ship broker negotiates and attempts to sell a deal, to seal a deal between the ship owner and flag charterers for commission payment. So these are the intermediaries. The ship broker is the intermediaries between two parties. The agent between two parties, between the ship or ship carrier owner, and also between the ship charterer, the owner of the cargo. All right. So they work on behalf of both, so to secure the best deal for the charterer, especially for the charterer lah. Because the best deal meaning that the most cost effective deal, right? For the charterer, right? Cost effective doesn't mean that you need to compromise with the quality of service. So that's why the broker need to know the priorities of the ship charterer, so that they can deliver all the ship charterers punya request or demand, right? So they need to know. Usually not only about cost, it's only about safety of the cargo. It's about timely of the cargo arrive, right? Efficient management of the cargo, of handling of the cargo, so that there will be less what damage to the cargo, less or even zero pilferage. You know pilferage? Pilferage is about theft during shipping, during mobilization. There's sometimes happen that the cargo been taken off or been robbed ataupun missing in action, missing during the mobilizations of the cargo. Missing ni ataupun been robbed or been been taken by somebody else illegally. That one we call it pilferage, right? So this will depends. The ship broker will negotiate all the terms and conditions and their role between the charterer, with the charterer, and also they must allow the discussion on priorities. So they cannot discuss all aspects, but they should discuss on priorities. Tahu kan? Jangan kena lagi. Alright. So this is all the parties involved, important parties involved in chartering process. Any questions that you want to know, you want to ask at this stage about chartering? Any question?
So, Doctor, is it the cargo owner is also the ship owner?
No, cargo owner is different. Cargo owner is the shippers, or they call it the shipper or consigner. Right. Cargo owner is that. Ship owner is different. Ship owner is the carrier. That's why the term sometimes confusing. Okay, the shipper and consigner belong to the same part, meaning that they are the cargo owner, and they are the cargo owner. All right, the carrier is the ship owner, and carrier also the ship operator is different. The carrier, the owner of the carrier, they engage ship operators to run the ship. Maybe the owner is different than the ship operators, but the ship operators must follow the carrier lah. The carrier owner have the full control of the ship lah, right? In deciding what to carry, what about the cargo to carry, right? Everything lah. But the running of the ship is the operator of the ship. They are expert on that. The business of the ship, the carrier owner, the carrier punya bidang, the carrier punya role atau function for the business of the ship. Business of the ship meaning that cargo they carry, how many cargo they have to carry, right? Everything is up to the carrier owner. The carrier lah, the owner. Ship operators is just to run the ship. shippers and consignor under category of the owner of the cargo. Okay? Understand?
Okay.
Is it clear? Who's asking just now? Is it clear? Faham tak? Who asked just now? Who's asking just now? You understand my answer?
Yes, doctor, I understand.
Don't confuse. Owner of the cargo and owner of the ship is different, right? Two different entity. Owner of the cargo in the tram in the tram shipping, owner of the cargo is the charterer. The carrier are the owner of the ship. Owner of the ship function is to deal about the business of the ship. The business, meaning that the ship can contribute to the owner, but the operator of the ship run the ship only. Their job is run the ship. Okay, finding business for the ship is the carrier function. Okay.
Okay, okay.
It's difficult lah kalau operator of the ship, like the captain, the crew, dia pun kena cari business, susah lah kan. Dia just run the ship. If the carrier said, the owner or the carrier said, you go here and take this cargo, they will go there. And their job is just to handle the ship, manage the ship only, to carry as much cargo as possible. And the business for the cargo, for the ship, is up to the owner of the carrier. Right?
Okay.
And Danusha asked about NVOC. NVOC is non-vehicle, non-vessel owner, kan? Non-vessel owner, sistine apa lupa lah. Non-vessel owner, meaning that they are not the owner of the ships, but they manage the shipping of the cargo, right? They manage it. It's like forwarding company lah, right? It's not the ship charterer, okay? It's the forwarding agent. Okay, this is a broker also. It's not a broker as per se like tram shipping. Is some apa ni? Is organizations, a company that been engaged by the owner of the cargo to handle the cargo, the shipment of the cargo. Then because some NVOCC ni, some non-vessel owner ni, some of them are very big. Why they are very big? Because they have many business. Many business, meaning that there are many people or many cargo owner, or in other ways is many manufacturers engaged with this and non-vessel owner services. So when they have big magnitude of business or cargo to carry, they can deal direct with ship owner about the rates. Understand? About the rates, about about it can be liner or it can be tram lah. Because they have big business. They have many business with them, so they can deal direct with the vessel owner or vessel or the carrier owner, discussing about the rates or whatever lah, or services needed by the cargo owner. Understand? So these are the role of an non-vessel owner. They don't own a vessel, but they act as they own the vessel. Why? Because they have big business there to give to the vessel owner. So vessel owner must comply with them because they have business. They have cargo to carry. They have the whole business for the carrier to carry. So definitely the carrier will give a special treatment to them because they have big business for the vessel owner. Understand or not? But they are not the vessel owner, but they hold a lot of business for the vessel owner to carry. So they can make a special arrangement and dealing with the vessel owner upon the request of the clients. Understand? The client is the original owner of the cargo lah. Faham tak? Understand, Indonesia?
Okay, sir. Understand? Thank you, sir.
So this is the main and non-vessel owner ni is a lot of business. It's a big business in especially in big countries like China and America. Even Malaysia also have, whereby they doesn't own any ship, but they handle. They can handle tram business. They can handle tram ship by dealing direct with the ship owner, because you all the clients engage the non-vessel owner to help them to deal with them. It's not like it can be also like a broker lah, but actually it's a forwarding company mostly, right? Yang broker ni referring to direct dealing from with the owner of the cargo or the charterer and the owner of the vessel. That one is broker lah. That like tram shipping is about the ship owner and the ship charterer deal directly. That's why they have what they call it, the Baltic Exchange, right? The Baltic Exchange. Even they have for the now the BIMCO, Baltic International Maritime BIMCO Maritime Councils Organization, BIMCO, and ASBA. ASBA ni American shipping broker benda lah kan. That one is a broker. The difference between NVOCC is that NVOCC is forwarding, usually is a forwarding company, but broker is they deal direct. The charterer and the vessel owner being get together by the broker, right? The NVOCC ni, the cargo owner deal with non-vessel company ni, non-vessel operator ni, and let them mobilize the cargo. And because of that, the business is very big, so they can deal directly with the liner or even tram to discuss terms and conditions on behalf of all the owners, all the owner of the cargo that they handle. That's different. For broker, it's different in terms of they'll deal between one party to other parties, charterer and vessel owner directly. No NOVC. NOVC ni macam lebih kurang terparti lah kan, terparti logistik or forwarding agents kan, macam tu lah, right? But basically in terms of trading, there's many ways they do it. For your information, for shipping and trading of import export, there are many ways they do it. Sometimes there are new ways they do it to deal with the matter. As long as the way they do it achieve their goal of optimizing the cost efficiency, and not compromising the time or the service quality, they will go for the new way. And that's the thing lah. Sometimes there are new terms come out. Sometimes there's new way come out. Kan? Any way that they think can shorten the time, can limit the cost efficiency, and can provide optimal services, they will go for that. That's why the new terms come in, NVO, MOO, and then there are many new terms. Sometimes we cannot cope because they are doing business. So why it is happening? Because of this, because the situation now, you can see supply chain disruptions because of delay, and then because of the freight rates going too high for the container liner. So because of this, people looking ways to find reduce cost, to reduce cost, but at the same time to be more efficient, effective in terms of services. They keep on looking new ways. So these are the things that happening in the world trade or shipping, right? If you found new ways that can be cheaper, then they have a new terms to handle to call it. Example now, usually big manufacturers, finished product manufacturers, they go for liner services, and they go for containers services. But since the container is very expensive now, the rate is very high, even threefold, maksudnya 3 kali ganda tinggi, is 300 times than the usual price, the rates from 9,000 to 27,000 per container. It's stupid. It's crazy. So they're looking for other ways. One other ways is that they charter ships. Previously, they go for liner ships. Now they charter ships. Like I told before in the class, right? Like what Coca-Cola did and what other some big manufacturers did. They charter their own ship. Even now, they charter an aircraft. Because using ship also so expensive. The rate is expensive, so why not they use aircraft and it's faster and reliable. But expensive, a little bit expensive. But if it costs the same like shipping rates now, so why not? And so people are looking for new ways. Maybe an OVCC is now with shipping, but later on you have an NVO, non-vessel owner, non-aircraft owner lah, NAO lah, and so these are the terms they will come out when they're looking for new ways to cut costs and to be more efficient. Why they do that? Because circumstances happen that they need to do that. Example like now, like delay in the ports, so cargo getting late, handle late, and increase the cost, freight go high, right? Customer, the consumer doesn't get the product on time. So problem. With this problem, they think new ways. Later on, you will see there are many new ways and new terms come out to overcome this thing. That's why it's happening in the world trade system now. Because you must remember, they're all talking about dollars and cents. They're not talking like government people, right? Ataupun public organizations. Money is not it's not the main thing. But they are business people. They are doing business. If costs are high, they are in trouble. Jangan ingat, you don't think that if the cost is high, they're happy because they can what? They can charge it to the consumer or transfer it to the consumer. No, they are worried because if the cost is high, they cannot bear, they will do it. They will transfer it to consumer. And what happened is that consumer won't buy because it's expensive. Then who will lose? Who will suffer at loss? They are not the customer, right? Because most of the product is elastic. Yeah, you're learning economic, elastic demand, non-elastic demand. Right? So these are the things. Okay? You need to remember this. Okay, any question? Ini. Apa tak? WU. Oh. Okay. Indonesia, okay, understand? So don't worry, there will be many more new terms come out later on because they are looking for new ways. Keep on looking for new ways to cut costs. The most important thing when they do logistic business, you must remember, they must put down the logistic cost. Total logistic cost must go down, so that they can get the market niche, can secure the market demand, because the market demand, so that they can be at profit, right? You must remember that they are doing business, they need profit. So whatever, any ways that can give them profit, they will go for it, without compromising the quality and the services lah. Okay. All right. Okay, type of ship charterer. Yeah, voyage charter, time charter, and bareboat charter or demise charter. Three types of chartering. Voyage charter, as the term says, voyage. What do you mean by voyage? Voyage is journey, eh? They charter the ship based on journey. One journey, one voyage from A to B, they charter. Right? That is the first charter time. Second one is time charter. Time charter, they charter the ship based on time frame, either per days, or either days or week or month or year. They go by charter, right? Bareboat charter or demise charter, they go for very long-term chartering. right? Long-term chartering, like I told before, I think in the last class, long-term chartering, demise charter, as though that the owner of the cargo, the owner of the vessel, as though that the owner demise is died, no? Demise meaning is die, and demise, already died, right? And demise, maksud demise lah. As though as the owner of the vessel no more owns the ship because they charter the ship is too long. I mean, a long time, long durations, and always same charterer engage the ship for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years, as though that the ship is like their own. The demise charterer, demise charter, meaning that as though like the owner is nothing, not in charge. As though that the ship owner change to the charterer pula. Contoh lah, dia macam peranggapan macam tu, demise charter. Right? Sebab tu dia pakai demise. Demise ni maksudnya dah mati kan, dah tak ada kan. Okay. Bareboat. Boat dengan bareboat meaning that just nothing there. Right? So that is the meaning of demise and bareboat lah. So as though that the charterer owns the ship pula, bukan the owner of the ship. Because the chartering is long and frequently, right? Occurred. So in the class before, right? Yang macam Petronas engage a ship to carry a tanker to carry their oil and gas, right? So definitely Petronas engage in for a long time, as long as there is oil and gas for them to explore, to exploit. That is the time that they still need to use the tanker. So are you talking about 1 year, 2 years? No, you're talking about many years. As though that the owner of the ship is the Petronas lah. Faham tak? Macam tu lah contoh kan. Itu maksudnya. The meaning of the three types of the chapter. The meaning from the term you can know, you can estimate, you can anticipate the meaning. Like VOYAGE charter is by voyage, by journey. Time charter is by time frame. Bareboat or demise charter is long durations of chartering. Okay. Any question for this type of charter, ship charter? Understand? Or you are sleeping? You're listening or you're sleeping?
So far, okay, sir.
Listening, Doctor.
Good. Time for me to check. Are you sleeping or are you listening? What? Apa nama? Class check. Class check. You alert or not? Aiman Shazni. Aiman Shazni. Where's Aiman Shazni? Tidur. Siapa tidur ni? Nampak saya tidur? Ada Aiman Shazni? Aiman Shazni tak ada pula dalam kelas. Mana Aiman Shazni? Aiman Shazni keluar kelas tu. Abid, where's Abid? Abid? Where's Abid? Tidur lagi dah. Tak ada orang lah. 2 orang, tak ada orang. Adam Azroy?
Ada sir, ada.
Adam ada. Abid tak ada. Abid dengan Aiman. Nanti saya check balik portal lah. Ni scan tu lari ni masalah ni. Dah scan terus lari buat kerja lain. Tak boleh You kena amanah. You must be honest to yourself. You embark UEM to learn. So learn now, although it's online. You still can learn online, right? But don't cheat. Don't tipu lah. And people ask you to learn, you sleep. Or you second and go away. Abid, one more Abid and Aiman. No response, I will withdraw your attendance. Abid and Aiman, are you there or not? Oh, Abid, Aiman, no. So I put record here. Azman Shazni. Okay. Aditya Dafa Arya Aditya. Ada Aditya.
Yes, sir.
Good. You around,
Yeah.
You listening my class, my lecture?
Yeah.
You
But
understand?
it's like kinda like lagging, sir, because right here is raining, sir.
Oh, where is it? Where is the place?
Yeah.
You in what? In India, is it?
Indonesia, sir. Same as
Indonesia.
Fajri Albiantoro.
Indonesia. Yeah. Sorry. I forgot you're from
Yeah.
Indonesia. Oh,
It's
sana
okay,
raining.
Yeah. Here is raining.
Oh,
Like
okay.
because like it's winter. It's raining winter.
But you can hear me?
Kinda lagging, sir. But I think it's okay because like I've recorded it.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, doctor, for
Never
for
mind.
this
Understood.
trouble. Thank you,
Okay, never
sir.
mind. All right. Fajri Arbantoro.
Yes, sir.
Fajri. Yes. Are you from where? I forgot.
Indonesia, sir.
So Indonesia. Oh, two Indonesia. Oh, boy.
Yes.
And you are the one I asked about Jokowi.
Yes.
Oh,
Fast.
yeah. I thought Ardi kan. Aditya. So, okay, never mind. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. Cik Roslinda.
Yes, sir.
Faham Dengar
Dengar.
Bagus. Nur Syamimi. Nur Syamimi. Tak ada bilik ke? Tak ada bilik lah. Tak ada. Apa ni? You not in the class ke? Nur Syamimi. Dah senyap 2 orang lah. 3 orang lah.
Dia tulis kat chat, sir.
Ha?
Dia
Apa
tulis
dia?
dia tulis kat chat tu.
Mana?
Syamimi.
Oh, ya. Ada, okay. Dishan? On Dishan?
Yes, sir.
Good. Tan Huiling?
Yes, sir.
Sobana Sehat. Sarhat.
Yes, sir.
Sobana, you Malaysian?
Yeah, Malaysian Indian, sir.
Oh, okay. Because the name not familiar kan. Okay. Tengku Tani? Tengku Tani ada?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Yes, sir.
Omarul Zaki. Omarul Zaki ada? Omarul Zaki? Tak. Left the class. Xuyen? Yong Xuyen?
Yes, sir.
Omarul Zaki tak ada So 3 orang 3 orang attendance will be withdraw back. Alright. So once you scan, you stay and learn. Don't run away. You not be honest to yourself. Okay, so thank you very much. We continue class. Okay. So let's explain the three types of charter: voyage, time, and bareboat charter. So under voyage, there are new supplement new category ataupun different type bawah voyage is contract of affreightment, COA. What is contract of affreightment? Never mind, I explain the voyage charter first. In the voyage charter, ship owner charters out the whole vessel or part of her space to the charterer. Whole dia sewa semua lah ataupun most of it ataupun quarter of it, but dia sewa. Like I told you before, tram vessel, tram shipping not only take one owner cargo, kan, one not only take from one charterer, maybe from 2 or 3 charterers. But it's not many like liner lah kan. Liner is very open, it's a public, it's common carrier. This one is still considered private, but still have a few owner lah. It can be 1, 2 or 3 lah. As long as they utilize all the ship, right? If one owner can cover all the ship's capacity, then one owner is enough. But if one owner is not covering all, they will look for another charterer to fill the ship, because you must remember they must move with full load. Then it will go for efficiency and less cost, right? Charterer is responsible for the arrangement of cargo according to the ini like tram punya characteristic lah. You discuss the terms and condition. It's a mutual benefit apa nama ni, appraisal. Not only you want to win, it's not a win, one side win, one side lose. It's a mutual benefit, a mutual win-win situation. Alright. Right, charterer is responsible for the arrangement of the cargo according to agreed terms and payment done by the charterer to ship owner is called freight, freight payment or freight rates. Freight is normally agreed on per ton basis of cargo transported. Per ton, they go per tonnage. Usually they go per tonnage, because another way is they go for space capacity. Then how many, how much space capacity that you have incurred the ships. You taken for the ship capacity. How much is your part of cargo? Use the space capacity. Sometimes based on that, sometimes based on the weight, right? Usually, if more weight is more capacity lah. Space capacity is normal lah. And then specific vessel, specific cargo, specific port, or specific route. So you as a charterer can choose what vessel that they want. Usually the vessels will be choose according to the type of cargo lah. Right? If the cargo is liquid, they use tanker. If the cargo is grain, they use a bulk. Bulk. If the cargo is not grains, not liquid, on sack or on a certain sort of packaging, then they use for break bulk, right? So these are the things. Sometimes finished product, they cannot use container because the nature of the container itself is like in a closed place, right? Closed place, whereby the cargo cannot cope with the heat or the humidity of the temperature inside the container. Just imagine the container is a mix of metal, steel, and you put the container on the deck of the ship, and you see the sun and the rain, right? It will be very humid, and sometimes humidity affect the quality of the cargo inside. So some cargo they don't use a container because of the nature of the cargo cannot cope with that. So they use a break bulk, right? Break bulk. Okay. And specific port. So which port that you need to send your cargo to is been mentioned in this agreement, in the negotiation, right? And then specific route. This is important because some cargo they come from out of the way. Out of the way meaning that it's not in the trade routes. It's not in the normal international trade routes. It's out of the way. Right. For example, a cargo from Irian Jaya. Irian Jaya ni in Indonesia that produce many produce gold or produce minerals or produce rare earth RE. So it's out of the way. Irian Jaya is out of the way, right, from the international trading route, shipping route, right. So you need to use tram because no liner goes there. For example, no liners goes there. So you need to use a tram, and then you can assign the tram to go there because you are chartering the ships for your purpose, right? So you have the right to assign any routes and any ports for the ship to go, right? That is why tram business is still in an important services of shipping, not only liner. Because when talking about shipping, usually people think about container ships. Container ships, sedangkan container ship is only less than the bulk cargo ships, bulk cargo business. Because bulk cargo business is about supplying raw material to countries to produce finished goods. There's this kind of shipping business higher than container actually, right? But people observe the container a lot, right? Because the container ship is getting bigger and bigger, right? And then it's very interesting to see the big ship and box type ships, sailing on the sea, right? Kalau kapal tram ni, kapal yang carry bulk cargo ni tak cantik kan? Bentuk dia macam buruk je kan, tak cantik. But container ship usually most new ships, and then they're like very attractive looking. So that's why maybe people like to talk about container ships because of the delivering finished goods. They are the most important part of the supply chain for goods, for consumer goods and for anything, right? So that's why they been spoken more than the tram services. By right, the tram services or the bulk cargo ships is much more important to the world, because without them, there's no container, there's no finished product. Ship owner possess control of the vessel, definitely. Will definitely take charge of operation of the vessel, meaning management of the crew. So ship owner will engage the operators of the ship. Ship owner will engage any operators that they think deemed to be liable or efficient and professional to handle their ship. So they will engage and they will monitor the management of the ship. Definitely they need to monitor, right? Because they are the owner. They spend billions to build a ship, kan? Takkanlah dia tak ada kuasa, dia takkanlah dia biarkan. Mesti they must take care about the business, about the ship, the owner. Ship owner bears the capital, they own, they provide the money to buy the ships, to operate the ships, right? The voyage cost of the vessel for freight agreed, right? So they run everything. They cover the ship owner is responsible for everything, right? The capital of buying the ships, capital cost of maintaining the operation of the ships, and the cost of running the ship, mobilize the ships. So all bear by the owner. The operators just run the ship only, right? Even their salary also paid by the owner. That is why the owner will be very important involvement in finding the business for the ship to carry, the cargo for the ship to carry, right? That's why it's important. The carrier and the owner, the carrier owner look for businesses for the ships. Businesses meaning that cargoes to carry. Ship cannot be idle. Ships cannot be idle and cannot be half empty because the cost running the ship is very expensive. They must always on the full side maximum, so that they are running at profit. Same also like aircraft. Aircraft, you cannot move aircraft, airline aircraft, if no passenger. But before this, like before AirAsia, when the business model of airline is based on government-owned, right, company like MAS, MAS time, although there's no passenger, for example, less passenger, they cannot even break even point the cost. Example, domestic flight from KL to Alustar, no passenger, half of it only. Not even BEP break even point the cost of the trip of the journey. So they still go. That's the problem. And then if this could keep on continuing, it will incur loss. Okay. And then some of it are CSR. For example, like mass services to Sarawak, remote area in Sarawak, right? Like Long Pasir in Sarawak, apa nama ni, in the dense jungle of Sarawak, there no connectivity to the outer world, just aircraft only, air transport only. That one is no business. Nobody want to fly there. But this is CSR, meaning that the government need to provide the service because to deliver medication or whatever lah, to the kampung people there, and the Aborigines, the Ibans, everything lah. But that one, yes, for CSR. That one, yes, for because it's government-owned company. But for private, that means business. If the flight is empty and not many customer, not many passenger going for the journey, they will stop the journey. They won't fly. They was even kalau the journey is always on the negative side, meaning that not covering cost, they will stop the route there. No more service to, for example, no more service to apa nama ni, KL Alustar at this time. Because at this time, 2 o'clock, nobody use the aircraft from KL to Alustar. So they stop. They delay it to evening pula kan. Then that's why sometimes when you go for domestic flight between city to KL, sometimes dia delay lama kan. Delay sampai pagi sampai tengah hari tak penuh lagi petang pula kan. So it's crazy because of to have this full load. If not, they are lost. Definitely lost. One trip lost, they are doing business. One loss, any trip lost, they suffer, right? Kalau 2-3 kali lost, they stop the route to that place. Tak perlu buat lah, rugi kan. Tapi for Malaysian Airlines still provide because of CSR. And why they can still provide? Because they are government linked company, right? So anything happen to MAS, the government will bear the cost, will help them. See, they what happen to MAS sampai government pun tak boleh help lah. Because every time rugi kan, tak boleh help lah. Sampai kena privatize kena upload the company kan. So this happen to MAS, to Malaysian Airlines. It's the same also to shipping. Kalau a ship, you just imagine the ship cost is hundreds of millions or even billions. But if the journey, if the any voyage is not a full, then it's a problem. They will suffer loss because the cost of maintaining a ship is based on the weight. If the ship weight is 200,000 ton, it's $200,000 per day. Just imagine. So they must have a full load every time, so that they get economy of scale in terms of operations. Right? Ship owner, okay, there are provisions for the late time, demurrage and dispatch. Right? Late time, demurrage and dispatch. Demurrage ni, that's why it's important to have demurrage and detention. And the terms varies. The term varies between ports and between regions. Some use it demurrage, some use it detention, some use it dispatch. Right, but the term, the concern is the same. Concern is about demurrage is about importers. Importers are late in clearing the containers, the cargoes at the port. Detention is the importers are late in delivering the empty containers to the port for the ship. Because the container is from the ship, right? So if the importer is late taking it from the port, from the ship, then it will be charged. And if you late returning the ship, the empty container also they will charge. There is demurrage and detention, right? That one is provision for the ship, the carrier, right? Why if you remember, and certain during the pandemic this year and last year, I think end of last year and early this year, there's issue on lacking of container box and lacking of empty container and happen in the market. Why? Because most of the container been delivered to the port. Then the container stay there for quite some time because of lockdown. Right, lockdown. But the ship cannot stay at the port; they must move. That is what happened. They move, they deliver or they unload all the cargo, full cargo, and the container doesn't come back because of lockdown. Then what happened is that there's been lacking of containers around. And then in China, the manufacturers of containers double up their productions to cope with this supply chain disruption due to the lockdown. I think the disruption situation even settle until the COVID cases really settle down, because COVID cases is coming up again in China. If it go up and without going down, it's most probably China government will lock down again the port. That will disrupt again the supply chain. You know, the supply chain when being disrupted is very late to recover back to the normal situation. It takes time, right? Because when you stop there, it will affect others. So this is very important for you to understand. All right. Most popular and widely used form of voyage chartering is GenCon 1995. This is the what the term they use to the type of chartering under voyage usually being applied. Dia ada banyak terms dia. Ada for different type of charter, different terms. Nanti I will go through what are the meaning of this GenCon 1994, because it's involved about the type of chartering or voyage chartering that usually been applied or being used by the charterer and the cargo and the ship owner. Any questions about the US charter? Any question? Okay, good. Okay, you understand. Hopefully it's clear. I think it's quite interesting to know about shipping. There's many things that you should know about shipping, but and as the time classes only twice a week, and also there's limitation in terms of apa nama ni syllabus. Syllabus kita pun, our syllabus is not so comprehensive about shipping because one sem only, right? So there's many things about shipping that you need to know if you want to really grasp the importance of shipping itself. Right? These are the syllabus are the main thing only lah, but there's many other things related to the main things that you need to know also. But time factor, and then because the program just consists of one sem only, so the content should be that the syllabus lah. Okay. Contract of affreightment, COA. So what is a contract of affreightment? Contract of affreightment is usually the contract for the carriage of a specified type and quantity of cargo from one port to another, covering two or several shipments and running over a long period. Contract of affreightment is a contract of carriage of a specified type and quantity of cargo, a tram service lah, a tram shipping service from one port to another, covering maybe one or two shipments and running over a long period. Right? Apa nama ni, long period ni maksudnya the time factor lah kan, the time factor. COA can often be related to voyage charter. Under COA, ship owner offers to carry the specified cargo at the price judged per ton basis, normal like the charter, the other charter, no ship is designated for the shipment of cargo under COA. Ship owner has the option for providing vessel for shipment. However, ship owner is under the obligation to provide the ships for the shipment of cargo at agreed time intervals. This one is depends on the agreement between the ship owner and also the charterer, right? The ship owner has an obligation once agreed upon to provide the ship for the shipment of cargo at agreed time intervals, meaning that the shipment should be a few times. Okay, depends on the time interval that agreed upon. It's a voyage charter, but there are the intervals. Ada intervals. Ada what? Intervals in Malay is interval apa? Ada gap lah, ada gap lah. Ada macam ada grace time. Grace time atau interval ni macam ada rehat lah between voyage. Faham tak? Usually voyage charter ni is based on voyage, based on journey like I told before, right? But this fragment contract is a voyage charter, but they have intervals, right? Between voyage. That's why apa nama ni they mention it as a fragment contract. A contract charter usually is a contract lah. When you charter a ship, you do a contract between the owner and the owner of the ship and owner of the cargo, right? The ship, between the carrier and the charterers, right? That is a contract lah. Okay. Alright. Apa nama ni? Ship owner pays for the voyage cost of the vessel. Alright. COA often set for a period of few or several years. So they say the difference is what? The time intervals, right? Right. Usually, why they call it agreement is under voyage charter. It's a contract that been agreed upon antara the charterer and also the ship owner. And then what you mean agreed upon? A contract of agreement is a contract done between these two parties, whereby the shipper, the vessel owner, agreed to carry the charter cargoes, right, with specific amount of quantity, and also with a certain duration of time, right, with certain interval. That is a contract agreement. Usually, this contract agreement not only talking about voyage charter, is usually is also involved for other type of charter also, because it's a contract between a charterer and a ship owner. So it involves all type of charter, not only voyage, but mostly apa nama ni, once you get a charter, you need to have the COA. Either it's a voyage charter or it's a bareboat charter ataupun it's a time charter, and it's the same, because it's a contract of agreement, contract of carrying. A fragment meaning that a contract to agree to carry, right? A fragment, okay. Such contract are often used in the bulk cargo trade. This usually refer to tram lah, and tram shipping services. Okay. Any question? These are the example of contract of agreement. Ship owner A enters into a COA with charter B for the transport of 1 million metric tons of coal from Australia to India for a period of 5 years. Cargo agreed to be transported in the CO has to be fairly evenly spread, which means 10,000 metric ton of coal has to be evenly spread, transported during a period of 5 years. Maksudnya 100 divided by 5 years lah, 60 months lah, divided by 60 months. So they give it an equal distributions of cargo unit carried for 5 years, 60 months. Ship owner has to make available one ship every month, as agreed in COA. For transport of cargo, this can be seen as voyage charter every month under the complete COA. So the voyage, why COA mostly done by under voyage charter, because the agreement between the charterer and the ship owner is be spread out through the intervals. So the interval of the contract is 60 months or 5 years. So every month they have a journey, a straight journey, a straight voyage, from India to Australia to India. Right? So this is how we call it voyage charter, one journey, right? So contract of agreement is a contract that agreed upon by the vessel owner to carry the stipulated amount of cargo which we agreed upon between India, Australia to India, voyage one journey, but in 5 years time. So every month they agree upon, every month they carry 10,000 metric ton per month from Australia is it, to India. Although it's 5 years, 60 months, but the voyage journey is only happen once a month for 60 times for the 5 years. All right. So these are the things that they agree upon, and these are the things why they put contract of affreightment under voyage charter. Right, because of the one-way voyage journey, just one journey, voyage, one journey only. So from Australia to India, one time, one per month. Then next month, Australia to India, another month. Then for 60 times. So between interval for 1 month, right? So this is what we mean by contract of affreightment. Okay. No ship is designated for the shipment of cargo under COA. Ship owner has the option for providing vessels for shipment. However, ship owner is under the obligation to provide the ship for the shipment of cargo at the agreed time also. Meaning that the ship owner have the right to choose any ship that can carry the coal. The coal is arang batu. Not all ships can suitable for arang batu. But the ship owner obliged to deliver ataupun to provide ships that can carry coal, right? From Australia to to India, 10,000 metric ton per month, right? So that is the privilege of COA, contract agreement. Right? Any questions? Any question? Understand? Understand. No, eh? Alright, I think we stop here. Dah pukul apa ni? Pukul 4 ni, okay. So, thank you very much to all the Indian community, Indian student, community dah ingat macam politician community, Indian student to my Indian student dan Nusha and others. Happy Deepavali to you all. Alright, enjoy your holiday and your festive season, festive day with your family and friends. Kalau you ada dekat sini, saya boleh pergi rumah you kan, makan tosai. Dan Nusha, you buat tosai? And
Yes, sir. Tomorrow morning.
what do you cook for tomorrow?